I'm already live, darling. Guys, I'm live and I'm pumped to share with you how to profit in the economic collapse with subject to investing. Okay. Now, some of you guys in gang may not know what a subject to investing is where a seller is highly motivated, like in the 2020 class, there's a lot of people motivated. I'll get into that in a second. And they already have a beautiful home, um, and they can't make the mortgage payments anymore. Well, on the beautiful home, they might have a beautiful home, they might have an ugly home, but there's all kinds of homes. There's going to have be entry level homes. There's going to be mega mansions. I've been involved with penthouses, multi-million dollar penthouses that people have been motivated, or with multi-million dollars. So there's going to be all types of properties out there in the real estate game, um, that will qualify for subject to investing. So what is subject to investing is where the seller allows an investor just to take over their payments because he or she doesn't want the house anymore, because they have a financial motivation or psychological emotional motivation, what I call it. Okay. Say hi to everyone. Hello. All right. So in the 2020 collapse, since I've been predicting it back in 2016, I said it's going to come or it's here, and there's massive amount of people that are highly motivated. So many is unbelievable. Okay. Um, at the current time, being 4 weeks into the quarantine, there's about 30 million people reportedly filing unemployment. And I would say that number is two or three times that because of there's a lot of small businesses like hairstylists, personal trainers, kickboxers, photographers, so on, real estate agents, that are not able to claim for the unemployment. So there are all these people that have these mortgages that they recently got with ultra low interest rates. We never seen the interest rates on mortgages be as low as they are in the history of America. The last crash, I was taking over people's payments that had 6 to 9 to even 10% interest rates, and I was able to still make profits, positive cash flow from the deals. Now, the reason I love this strategy and the reason I love it in this specific time where we're having a meltdown, there's blood in the streets, there's fear in the air, is that A, I don't have to get a loan from a bank. B, I don't have to have all the cash to buy the property. C, I don't have to use my credit or my company's credit. Now, why do I not have to do all these three things that I mentioned and a lot more? Because the seller already has the loan in place and they can't make the payments anymore. Maybe they lost their job. Maybe they're sick from the virus. Maybe so many things. What's up, champ? So there's going to be tons and tons and tons of people are going to be motivated, and tons of people have borrowed money, with to buy these beautiful homes that they're building everywhere from Las Vegas to Colorado to Texas to Austin to San Antonio. I mean, you name it, everywhere that I've traveled to, they're just building homes left and right. And this is the season, what I call it, subject to investing, because there's going to be massive amount of people that going to have beautiful homes. Like for example, I don't know if you guys can see behind me right there. Okay, I want you to look at this subdivision. This subdivision right there, you see all these home builders are trying to finish up as fast as possible. Guys, click the like button. Click the like button. Support this channel. Okay. You see the subdivision behind me? Well, these builders are trying to finish up as soon as possible. That's why you see multiple houses going at one time. Okay. And here's the great thing. There's a lot of homes that are already in that subdivision that are already built out. Maybe phase one or phase two. It depends what phase this is. I don't have that information. But these home builders are going to be competing with the homeowners there that are trying to sell their home. And there's going to be a lot of homeowners there that already bought the home in phase one, and maybe this is phase two now, that have lost their job. And when they try to sell their home on the market, they're not going to be able to because these home builders are offering brand spanking new homes, right? They're offering brand new spanking new homes with the 10-year warranties for $50,000, $30,000 less. So this is what I call a subject to heaven. I don't know if you guys can see that. This is what I call a subject to heaven area because any area that has these beautiful homes and there's home builders still there building phase two, phase three, etc. There's going to be massive amount of motivated sellers there because these home sellers are not going to be able to sell their homes because they're competing with the builder that has brand new homes with the 10-year warranties, $30,000 to $50,000 less because the builder is motivated. They have that if they don't sell these inventory, they're going to get foreclosed on. So they gotta sell. That's you know what I mean. And the home builder is not attached to the property like the home buyers are, and for them it's just a numbers game. And so they will sell it for lower and just to break even or just get out of this debt. And so what that leaves the home owners are highly motivated in that area. And when they try to hire a real estate agent, they're not going to be able to sell because there's other homeowners in that area that are trying to sell, plus the home builders and all the other people that have gone to foreclosures or forbearance programs that eventually will lead into foreclosures that, so these areas are what I call the best pockets to find beautiful homes. And, like someone had may lived in it for a year or two or three, nothing, and they're gorgeous homes, and the seller's just willing to let you take over their payments because they try to hire real estate agents to sell these homes and they haven't been able to. Okay. And here's the great thing with this strategy that I've used back in the last crash is that real estate has two positive things for it. Okay. There's more, but what I want to focus on is two things. You have what's called cash flow and you have what's called equity. Okay. Now, equity is a funny thing because you can have phantom equity. And we saw that in the stock market where people's retirement plans or 401s, they look really fat and juicy and they felt rich. But as a phantom equity because they weren't able to tap it out, they weren't able to take the money out of there. Okay. And what that means is that equity is great if you're able to realize that, hey, the market's going to tank and you're going to take your money out. But most people don't. If it's equity in their homes, if it's equity in their stocks, they usually lose it because they don't understand the cycles. However, cash flow is real. Cash flow is real. Right then and there, when I buy this home, I don't care about the equity because more than likely it'll have marginal equity or very little equity or no equity, and that's why the seller is highly motivated. However, it'll give me amazing cash flow because the interest rates are all time low in the history of America, and the Fed is even thinking about going to negative interest rates. I was just reading today. So that said, real estate, not only do you have equity, but you also have cash flow. And this strategy, subject to investing, works really good because even if the house has no equity, which a lot of homes will have in this upcoming crash, because the prices of homes are going to come down because massive inventory and people can't sell, there's a credit crunch. But the other side of real estate is the cash flow, and cash flow is real. The first month I own the property, first month I rent it out, I'm putting money into my pocket where equity on the property is a phantom gain. If you don't tap it out, you're not gonna and bring it to the market, you're not gonna cash out on it. So a subject to works really, really great in this market because sellers are just by definition are have fear and they're highly motivated because they're not going to be able to sell their home. Okay. Um, and this is one of the best strategies, in my opinion, not financial advice, to create wealth for generations. Because, for example, the last crash, I picked up properties that had marginal equities, okay, maybe 10, 15%. To some people, that's equity, but it's really nothing. Okay. However, the properties would give me cash flow $300, $400 a month. So the day I bought it, I started getting cash flow from it. As soon as I put it on the market, I got a renter in it. I started getting cash flow from it, and maybe the next 3, 4 years, I didn't have equity in these properties, or it went from 10% or 15% to 20% or 30%. And after 6, 7 years, now I had a lot of equity because the renters were paying off the debt, not me, the renters. They're paying all the debt, the insurance, the taxes, plus putting me cash flow in my pocket. And at the same time, the market was coming back up. So I had two things going for me. The market's coming back up and the renters are paying off the debt. And properties that I just took over the payments, maybe the seller was behind no months, maybe the seller was behind 2 months, maybe the seller's behind 3 months. That money that I put up was only this little versus if I had gone traditionally and borrowed money from a hard money lender, that would have been so much more money. If I had gone the other traditional way and borrowed money from a real estate agent, I mean, not real estate, a traditional bank, um, or if I even went lied to the bank and told them, look, it's going to be my own home, which I would never do because that's against the law. However, either way, those options I win because some people buy the home under their own name and they turn to a rental property, which they're not supposed to because you're only supposed to, get a commercial loan for those type of investments. But if I went and got an FHA or if I went commercial or if I went hard money, it would cost me more money in loan generation, more money upfront down payments, more closing costs. With this strategy, I just took over the guy's payments. Maybe he was behind 0 months or maybe he was behind 3 months, made the payments. And as soon as I put it on the market, I started getting cash flow. In about a couple of months, I got all the money that I put up for the closing, which is way less than if I went traditionally, like I just mentioned. And then the next years, it started producing money for me in my pocket. And 6, 7 years later, now the renters have paid off the debt and the market is working for me. So I've now created double equity in a sense, if you could think about that. And and I cashed out. So this is where I could have kept it and give it to my kids, but I didn't have kids at that time, or cash out on it, which on some of the properties, that's what I did. Okay. So 2020 is the best time because there are so many motivated sellers out there. Why? Because they've lost their jobs, they're on unemployment, they have a lot of debt, and there's a credit crunch. And I've been saying it, and the credit crunch is going to escalate. It's going to go more and more. There's going to be less money out there because the banks are going belly up because the banks are foreclosing on these homes, and that's why subject to investment works so much because it gives the seller an alternative. Should I let the bank take it and ruin my credit, or should I just let this investor make the payments on my property? And some sellers will let the bank take it, and some sellers say, you know what? No, I don't want to lose my credit. And they're willing to just go ahead and let an investor take it. And this is why it's such a great opportunity because there's going to be so many sellers, and we don't have to convince anyone of the market is bad because they already know it's bad. CNN, NBC, Fox, every news station you can imagine is reporting how bad it is. And guess what? It's programming everyone. But for me and other people like minded, like myself, that you're watching, probably for you, then it's not bad. It's opportunities. And with these type of sellers, the skills you got to have is not the same as borrowing money from a bank because when you borrow money from a bank, the skill set you need to have is your debt to income ratio. The skill set you may need to have is, you know, um, how to borrow money. However, with these sellers, the skill set you need to have is how to structure deals, how to talk to these sellers so you could build rapport with them, you could build confidence with them, they can trust you, how you can educate them, show them different options that they don't know because most traditional attorneys, most traditional real estate agents, they don't understand these strategies. Okay, and the seller just doesn't know what to do. And if you educate them and build trust with them and know what type of questions to ask, because the most important thing when you talk to these types of sellers is if they like you, and for you to gather as much as information as possible so you can solve their problem. Okay. And this is why I'm giving away my Ninja phone script because that's exactly what it does. It helps you talk to these sellers. It helps you ask all the important questions So you know how to structure the deal. Plus, I show you in this course how to give offers, not only in cash, so you can buy people's homes at 60 cents on a dollar minus repairs, but also in owner financing. It shows you how to sweeten the tea so the seller is willing to accept your owner financing. And at the same time, the course is divided into three parts. You get the phone script, which is I use, all my students use. I use it every day. This is what helps me do deals virtually anywhere because as long as my students send that information to me, I know how to structure deals and I show them how to structure the deals by having that phone script. Number two, I show you and let you listen to an hour and 11 minutes of live calls with home sellers where we're talking to them, we're asking them just phone script. It's kind of like shadowing a doctor or shadowing me without paying all the big bucks. And then on top of that, I'll give you 27 minutes, almost 30 minutes of how to use the Ninja phone scripts and all the ins and outs of it. So you're getting over 2 hours of video training. Okay. Uh, Advanced stuff, even if you're new or even if you're advanced, these tactics that I have in there, the way we ask the questions, is what helps us get the deals. And I'm just letting you download it. Okay. I'm having the flash sale on it. There's only six left. The price is 197. Normally, I sell this course with the live training for 1,250 bucks, and right now you can get it for 197. There's six left out of 50, and I hope you take advantage of this because the most important thing when you're talking to a seller is to know what kind of questions to ask to get the deal. And I mean, because in this business, your phone script is your lifeline. It's like the heart of your pump because the seller is the sole decision maker. There's no real estate agent, there's no appraiser, there's no title company, there is no, I mean, these people don't make the decision. Only the seller decides. And if you don't build the right trust, you don't talk to them correctly, you don't ask the right questions, you're not going to know A, how to structure the deal, and two, you're not going to get the deal because the seller's not going to trust you. Okay, so to listen to live calls is priceless. There's no one else has anything like this, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm giving it to you because I want you to succeed. I want you to go do deals and then come and reinvest in yourself so I can show you some more advanced stuff. Right, buddy? Right? Say hello. All right, she's just listening to me, guys. Um, anyways, so I hope you take advantage of my Ninja phone script, guys, at mrnofluff.com. 197 bucks. We got six left. It's going to change your life. I have advanced students using it. I have brand new students using it. I use it every freaking day. I developed it myself back in 2006 because I couldn't get money because the bank wouldn't lend any money out, guys. Okay, so this is why I started with the strategy subject to investing, and I was so blessed to not go the traditional way. Even though I had a couple $100,000 in my bank because I had multiple businesses and I could have just bought the house for cash. But using this strategy allowed me just to put 2 grand, 3 grand, 5 grand, 10 grand, and buy beautiful homes. I didn't need no repairs, nothing, right? And the cash flow. And today, with interest rates being so low, they're going to cash flow like crazy. And on top of that, there's no selling involved for me. I don't have to tell the seller the market is bad. They know it's bad, and which is great because they're going to come to me and say, "Here, can you take over my payments?" If I just ask them the right questions, if I talk to them the right way, and that's what I'm going to give you in my Ninja phone script, guys. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. Let me take this look at this. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, do you do Section 8 housing? That's a very good question, guys. When I had my real estate property. I let him go in 2016. I never did Section 8. I just didn't want to deal with it because uh, I knew exactly how to be a landlord. You know, I had multiple zip codes that I bought in, and I got to control the rents in because I had multiple properties in there. So I never deal with Section 8s. Some people love do Section 8s. Okay, I don't have nothing against it. I just didn't want to wait for the government to give me cheese. If you guys don't know, I'm more of a liberal, voluntarist versus having government give me something, right? That's why I don't want the stimulus check or anything like that. I don't want anything from the government. Uh, you know, I could earn myself, you know what I mean? And you can too, because the more we get on the government's nipple, the more they control us. And I prefer freedom. I prefer risk and freedom versus control. Right, if that makes any sense. That's why I'm an entrepreneur. That's why I've been following my dreams since high school. Never had a job, but I don't have anything against Section 8 guys. Great. You know, you got to get in where you fit in. If you like Section 8, if that's your niche, it's pretty easy. The money just comes in. You just got to follow some of the HUD's rules and regulation, and you make sure your house passes an inspection. But after that, you just sit there and collect your money. Some of those people will be horrible, and some of them will be amazing, just like traditional renters. But I just didn't deal with it myself. I had a brokerage firm. I could get the customers, renters to come in. I We screened them, so I didn't need that check. But good question. Any other questions, guys? I'll take it. What do you think about properties overseas worth? Uh, I don't understand that question, Mohammed, if I'm pronouncing that. With the strategy that I teach, which is taking over payments, you know it'll work in any countries that's using central bankers, right? It'll work in any country that has central bankers. Would I buy in other countries? No. I mean, I live in America, and there's so much opportunity here. For example, like Vegas, like Dallas, like Houston, like Austin, like Colorado. I mean, there's so much opportunity here that I don't feel the need. If I ever did start investing in a different country, it would be my own hometown in Iran. But the shady government they have over there, you can't own shit. So no, I wouldn't. For myself, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do that. If you like to do that, then by all means. Good question. Um, with loan forgiveness in the horizon, how will the subject to work? That's a really good question, guys. I can tell you this, man. The banks always want their money, and they're gonna foreclose. They have all these great names and programs, like Hope. Obama created that. Great guy. Nothing against him. But man, in the last crash, man, for example, the loan mods and Hope and all these programs, that banks still took everyone's home, man. They took everyone's home. You know, Same thing with this forbearance program. At the end of this forbearance program, we're going to see massive, massive, massive amount of foreclosures. I don't care what the program is, the banks still want their money, and here's why. The banks don't own the notes anymore. For example, when you go to a Bank of America, you get a loan, right? What happens is they instantly sell that, right, to Wall Street. Wall Street sells it to investors all over the world in what's called mortgage-backed securities. So, there's the investors that own these mortgage-backed securities, they want their money. It's not Bank of America or Wells Fargo's money to decide. They already made their money in loan generation. These guys don't hold the notes. They sell it immediately. Okay, so I don't think I don't think these programs are going to work. These programs are going to add on the fire of the tsunami that's going to happen. Right, the, a lot of these sellers are going to be in a worse situation than if they just made partial payments or made something versus some of the programs they go into. But we'll see. I don't have a crystal ball. These are just my opinions, but I think whatever the government does is just going to add to the fire, just like this forbearance program, and it's going to put a lot more sellers in harm's way versus helping them. Good questions, though. What's the best contact method to reach owners that just defaulted? Well, that's a really good question, man. Sellhomecash.com. That's a really good question. You can go to mrnofluff.com. I have courses where for $19 or something, I show you like 39 ways to contact them. If you want automation, which is the higher level, if you're already successful, you may consider downloading my alchemy stone, where I show you 13 pawns. Like you see this little pawn right there, right there. I show you 13 pawns, all in automation, all for free, how to generate leads. Okay. But I sell that stuff. But if you want that generic stuff, then go to mrnofluff.com and download it. But that's a really good question. One of the best ways to find subject to houses is kind of like these deals right there, man. You see what they're just building these homes, right? These pockets are the best ways to find these sellers. Okay. And if you need more help, just join profit sharing. I'll be happy to work with you one on one to answer those kind of questions for you and get you moving. Thanks for asking. All right. Jason says Iran. That's right. I like your Trump, brother. Is that really Iranian? Yes, it is, my friend. Thank you. She's uh Clara. She says she's adorable. Thank you so much. Do you do Section 8? I said that. Kingdom Solomon. What's going on, man? Muhammad. What's going on, guys? If you guys have any questions, let me know. Now, there's gonna be so much, so much, so much, so much, so much motivated sellers out there that and there's gonna be so many different pawns of motivated sellers out there, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, everyone that just passed away from these bug, well, some of them own homes, so that's a pawn right there. Okay, um, all these people that just lost their jobs, right? That's a pawn right there. Uh, all these people that have businesses that not they're not going to work. Guess what? There's a pawn right there because this commercial properties are not going to be defaulting too. Okay. Um, and the list goes on. I mean, the divorce rate is increasing. It will increase more because when finances are in trouble, divorce rates increase. Okay, there's a pawn right there. Evictions, pawn right there. I don't know if you guys know. Like I brought to you a couple of weeks ago, I called my local county to do it for eviction. They were closed. They said they're not going to open up for weeks and months. So a lot of renters are taking advantage of sellers, right? Landlords. They're taking advantage of them. They're not paying their rent. Okay. Well, guess what, guys? There's a pawn right there. Everyone that has a super host for Airbnb, well, guess what? They had 50 houses. That's the only way they knew how to have income. Guess what? There's a pawn right there. All the other reasons why people were motivated before a collapse ever happens, like um, death in the family, like job relocation, job losses, all normal stuff. Well, all those pawns are still there too, but we just have a whole lot more people coming. All these people are going to file for forbearance programs. All these people are going to go for these loan forgiveness programs. Okay. All right, guys. I got to get out of here. I think my kids want to see some shit. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Click the like button. See you later.